What's going on, everybody? Pat's Picks Week 2 coming at you. What's going on, everybody? Last week, Pat's Picks Week 1. 7-9, not the best. Was 1-1 on my lock of the weeks. Dolphins lock of the week -3.5 hit, while the Broncos lock of the week -6.5 did not. Gonna get into Week 2 here, starting with Thursday night football. The Los Angeles Chargers travel to Arrowhead to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. The spread is -4.5. No Keenan Allen and J.C. Jackson is questionable. Give me the Chiefs -4.5. Home divisional game. Think it's close. J.C. Jackson doesn't play. I think that really changes things. But give me the Chiefs -4.5. Next up, the Commanders. I got the Commanders -1.5. Wentz looked good last week, and I think they can move the ball pretty well on the Detroit Lions. So give me the Commanders, even though they're on the road against the Lions. The Browns and the Jets. This one was a little bit tougher. The Jets lost 24-9 last week to the Baltimore Ravens at home. They didn't look all that good, in my opinion. The Browns are starting Jacoby Brissett again, which kind of makes me want to take the Jets, but I'm going Browns strictly because Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, that backfield I think is really going to lead them to victory. Next up, we got the Saints and the Bucks. The Bucks are -2.5 here, and I don't know. This one's tough. You know, the Saints always own the Bucks, I feel like, but they did not look all that good in the first 3 quarters versus Atlanta. Of course, Michael Thomas had 2 touchdown catches, and they ended up winning that game. But I think I'm going Bucks -2.5 here. I'm going with Brady. I think they get the win here against the Saints and a divisional win. Next up, we got the Panthers -1.5 against the Giants. This one's also a tough one, but I'm going... You know, the Giants beat Tennessee last week. That was really... I did not see that one coming. I took the Titans. I also took the Panthers last week, and they ended up losing to the Browns. But I'm going back on the Panthers -1.5. I know Saquon looked really good last week. But I think Baker Mayfield has a good game, and the Panthers win outright. Steelers, this one is another tough game, the Steelers and the Patriots. The Steelers edged out a win against Cincinnati where they saw 5 turnovers against that Bengals offense. The Patriots got decimated by the Dolphins, and for that, I'm going with the Steelers -2.5. I know no TJ Watt, but I still think the Steelers' defense will stop that Patriots offense. So give me the Steelers -2.5. Next up, the Dolphins versus the Ravens. This one's tough. The Ravens always own the Dolphins, but last year on that Thursday night game, the Dolphins ended up beating them by double digits at home. That was the game we saw that cover 0 blitz, where they were setting records for blitzing their DBs all game. I think this one is going to be a close game, but I'm taking the Dolphins +3.5. I think that half-point hook is going to save this line. Give me the Dolphins +3.5. Next up, the Rams against the Falcons, and I think this is a revenge game for the Rams. I know a lot of people think that Stafford, his elbow might be a little bit more messed up than the Rams are leading on, but I still like the Rams -10.5 in a bounce-back game. I think they decimate the Falcons, so give me the Rams 10.5. Next up, a NFC West battle between the Seattle Seahawks and the San Francisco 49ers. 49ers -9.5 here. They lost to Chicago last week in that absolute monsoon of a storm. And I think that was a big reason of why they lost that game. But I think they bounce back and win. I'm still going Seattle +9.5. Seattle looked really good against Denver at home. I don't think they're going to look as good against the Niners, but I still think they keep this divisional game close. So I'm going Seahawks plus 9.5. Next up, we got the Cowboys and the Bengals. No Dak Prescott. That's why the line, I believe it was Dallas minus 1.5. Now it's all the way up to Bengals minus 7.5. Going to Dallas against the Cowboys. No Dak Prescott. Cooper Rush, I believe, will be starting, and that's enough for me. I'm going Bengals minus 7.5 in a bounce-back game in Week 2. Texans Broncos. Texans getting 9.5. The Broncos, they're gonna bounce back from that loss in Seattle. I fell into that trap and took the Broncos, as you guys know from watching my last video. I'm not making that mistake again. Give me the Texans plus 9.5. That's too many points. David Mills is gonna try to keep up with Russell Wilson. Who knows? I mean, Geno Smith, we just saw keep up with Russell Wilson on Monday night, so you never know. Next up, the Raiders and the Cardinals. The Cardinals got decimated by the Chiefs, while the Raiders lost to the Chargers last week. Raiders minus 4.5, and I'm going with the Las Vegas Raiders here. I know the Cards just looked bad last week, and I don't feel comfortable taking them, so that's the main reason why I'm going with the Raiders minus 4.5. Oh, I almost forgot to tell you guys, the Texans plus 9.5 is my lock of the week for this week. Don't forget, that's one of the lock of the weeks are the plays that I would be putting money on. So Texans plus 9.5, lock of the week. Next up, we got the Packers and Chicago Bears Sunday Night Football. You know, Rodgers, they looked bad last week. They got killed by the Vikings, while Chicago beat the 49ers in that rainstorm that I mentioned earlier. Packers minus 9.5. Give me that all day. Aaron Rodgers owns the Bears, so I'm going off. I think he has I feel like they always have a bad week 1, and it never matters throughout the rest of the season. So give me the Packers 9.5. Aaron Rodgers owns Chicago. Now we move to the 2 Monday night games. Eagles going up against the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings decimated the Packers last week, while the Eagles squeaked by the Lions. I don't care. Give me the Eagles minus 1.5. Think this is going to be a good game, but I'm going with the Eagles. Then we have the Bills and the Titans. The Titans got beat by the Giants last week. I think they're going to come out looking a little bit better as the Bills destroyed the Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams. Bills minus 9.5, and I'm going with the Bills minus 9.5. So, guys, that's my card this week. Again, last week's record 7-9. Looking for a better week this week. The lock of the week record is 1-1. We're gonna try to get over 500 with the Texans as our lock of the week. So guys, enjoy week 2. We will be back for week 3 with Pat's picks.